Well, hey guys, I hope your week is going well. I'm just here with coffee and Totoro. I'm really excited for today's video. Many of you out there are, I guess, swimmers. I get so many questions from you all if I can do a video talking about not only skincare tips for swimmers, but I also get a lot of questions from you guys if I can make any recommendations for places to get good, affordable bathing suits. You know and have appreciated in my vlogs that I lead a very active lifestyle. Believe it or not, even though I have access to 3 swimming pools in my apartment complex, I actually have not owned a bathing suit in probably 10 years. And so, you know, I've kind of been on the hunt for a bathing suit. I'm really picky and I want something good quality, but I find bathing suits are very expensive. So in today's video, not only am I going to share with you guys some of my skincare tips for swimmers and, you know, things that you should be aware of as far as your skin and swimming, but I've also been doing a little shopping and I got some bathing suits, and so I'm going to do a try-on haul for you guys in this video so you can see the bathing suits that I got and, you know, see for yourself a good place to get some bathing suits. All of these suits come from a site that I've seen a lot of ads for on, you know, probably here on YouTube. You guys have seen the ads as well as in magazines. And the site is called ShoeDazzle. If you're not familiar with ShoeDazzle, it is an online, I guess, merchant, you would call it. Started in 2009 to cater to women's love of fashion and shoes. And it's really cool because they have a ton of different shoes, hence the name ShoeDazzle. They've got great boots. They also have a lot of really cute accessories, swimwear, activewear, bags, and, you know, sunglasses, things like that. So the other thing that I love about the site and that drew me to it is that their prices are very affordable. And one thing that I would recommend is they actually have this VIP membership.
Just in terms of the shoes, I've been thrilled with the quality. ShoeDazzle offers 30 to 40% off the retail prices, and with the VIP membership, they're offering 50% off. So,
and it also offers you different member perks and access to new styles. They're always coming out with new styles earlier. They also get free shipping off of their site. One thing that you might be concerned about is, well, what happens to my VIP membership if I don't want to order anything that month? Well, it's very easy. You just have to go onto the site by the 5th of the month and say that you don't want to make any order that month, and your card will not be charged. If you forget, however, to go in and say, hey, I don't want to order anything this month or get anything, then the fee is automatically deducted from your card, but that is credit that you then have to use on future purchases. But anyways, as I said, let's get into the swimwear try-on haul of the video, and then I will share with you guys some skincare tips and some things to know about skincare for swimmers that I think you will find helpful and kind of address some of the questions that you guys frequently ask me.
and absolutely critical to this try-on haul are these 2 floppy, broad-brimmed sun protective hats that I just had to get. And I also got these cute shoes. They are a faux suede with a cork bottom. They're a wedge, and I just thought they look cute. And look at me, I even painted my toenails for you guys. You can see the top, they have a nice crisscross. They're really comfortable, and again, great arch support. All right, this is the first suit from the back. It is a side mesh one piece, and in the color black, of course. I like this because it secures in 2 places in the back with the string and with the hook, so it's nice and secure when you jump into the water. And one of the things that's really cute about the suit is that it's got this mesh paneling on the side. I don't know if you can see it here on zoomed in, but I really liked the way that this fit. It's very comfortable, and one of the things that I find troublesome with bathing suits is kind of the side of the top can sometimes be a little bunchy and revealing, and that was not the case here. Here I am with a hat. Check out that brim. Very, very UV protective. Even gets my shoulders. I mean, bear in mind I am slathered in so much sunscreen right now, and I was only out there for a few seconds in the sun for sun protection, but yeah, this hat is phenomenal. And look how it gets the back of my neck too if you've got short hair. and get your nose, all the skin cancer zones. All right, this is the second bathing suit that I got. It is a one shoulder, one piece. And it is in the color, I believe, teal or turquoise. I like that the one shoulder has the little opening, kind of double strap there. And again, this fit pretty comfortably in the top and didn't have any of that kind of pop out uncomfortable revealing action that can occur with bathing suits. You know, particularly when you shop online, you don't know what you're going to get with a bathing suit, and I was really pleased with the fit of these suits. I got them all, by the way, in the size extra small, and even the rear isn't bunchy. I hate that in bathing suits. All right, this is the third bathing suit that I got, and probably my favorite one. It is the belted one piece, and again, the size is extra small, and I wanted to be able to show you guys the top here, so I'm not wearing the hat currently. You can see the back is really nice for those of you who swim laps. It's nice and secure, almost like a sports bra, but it's also cute and flattering, so you know, you can kind of enjoy it as a fashion piece as well. But I really like this one, and it's definitely my favorite one. Okay, no tanning allowed whatsoever, but I've always wanted to sit on one of these things, so humor me here with my faux modeling.
Well, wasn't that fun? Finally making some use of my swimming pools out there, and I love all the bathing suits that I got. They're really cute and comfortable. And the quality is amazing, and I love the way they fit. They're not saggy or anything like that. Yes, I was wearing a ton of sunscreen for the filming of the try-on haul. A very, very important point if you are swimming outdoors. So with that, what are some good skincare tips and some things that you should know about as far as skin and swimming? Okay, so probably the first issue that arises with swimmers, particularly people who swim competitively and on a daily basis, like in an Olympic-sized pool, they develop basically dry skin, or is the medical fancy term for it is swimmer's xerosis. And this is due to kind of a combination of insults that are happening to the skin as a result of the swimming. First of all, the sebum or oil in our skin is getting diluted out by all that constant immersion in water. Not only that, but when you are submerged in water that frequently and for those prolonged periods of time, you actually can develop a little osmotic gradient across the skin barrier that further dries out the skin, pulls water actually out of the skin. And also what can happen is the top layer of the skin can get super saturated and overly hydrated and actually be kind of impaired and leaky, okay? So you have a few different factors going on that impair the skin barrier and lead to dryness, but not only that, if you think about the behavior of swimmers and people like on swim teams, after you get done working out in the pool and doing your exercises and what have you, then the inclination is to go in and take a long hot shower, and that is the worst thing that you can do. Submerging your skin further in drying hot water, even worse. Compounded with that, if you go into any like gym, like in a college campus or whatever, you will find in those bathrooms the most drying, irritating soaps known to man. They're like mass-produced soaps that they have in a lot of gyms and whatnot. So, my tips for you all out there, particularly those of you who are competitive swimmers in a pool all the time, but just in general when you swim in a swimming pool, is immediately when you get out of the pool, you just do a quick shower rinse in tepid, not hot water. I know that is like the most miserable tip to have to comply with, but you really want to minimize how much water contact you have. But rinsing the skin of that harsh chlorinated pool water is very important. That tip also goes for if you are swimming in fresh water or ocean water, seawater as well. Those different bodies of water can also need to be rinsed off of the skin. And avoid using a harsh drying soap. Actually use an oil-based soap. Would be my recommendation. This will remove the chlorine, the pool chemicals, the water that you've been swimming in, and but at the same time, it will not irritate and disrupt the skin barrier. So that would be my second tip. And then my third tip would be immediately after you get out of the shower, apply a moisturizer to your body to help seal in that water in your skin and prevent it from drying out. And then the other tip also, depending on the pool that you're swimming in and if this is allowed, but it definitely is recommended, is to actually slather your skin with an ointment like Vaseline or Vani-Ply before you actually swim in the pool. This makes like a nice coating and a nice seal on your skin and kind of cuts down on some of that insult that might be going on. You know, that might not sit well with all pool maintenance authorities, but that is a good tip. And in some competitive swimmers, they actually like doing this because psychologically it makes them feel like they're a little bit swifter in the water. So that's another tip. The second skin problem that can arise and is not uncommon in swimmers is actually acne. Aquagenic acne it's called. And this is kind of due to similar insults as what leads to dry skin that I already talked about, some of the same things that are drying out the skin, but also chlorine in the pool water is an irritant to the follicle, the pore. It trickles down in there and it irritates it, and it results in increased sebum. Not only that, the hyperhydration of the top layer of the skin can kind of actually transiently plug up the pores and lead to really, really tough cases of acne for swimmers, particularly on the face, areas of the body that are constantly exposed to the water. So, you know, my tip for preventing that would be, again, sort of the same tips that apply to the dry skin, is rinsing the skin immediately, avoiding harsh, irritating soaps, avoid the temptation to dry out your skin. Part of the reason this acne occurs is from the drying consequences of swimming in the pool water. So stick to minimal skincare, minimal contact with your showers, short showers, that can all help. But if you do develop aquagenic acne, best to see your dermatologist. Conventional acne treatments are usually recommended, usually prescribed to get this under control, because like garden variety conventional acne, this can lead to scarring and cause a lot of problems and distress for the swimmer. So try and avoid it, but with these tips, but you know, see your dermatologist should you develop it. The third skin condition that I definitely have to mention, I mean, you know, and I've already alluded to it, is skin cancer risk, particularly, you know, namely for those of you who swim outdoors. Skin cancer from UV exposure is a very real problem, and just being outdoors further amplifies your risk for that. And being in the pool water, you know, the ultraviolet light from the sun actually does still come through the pool water and can affect your skin. And the other important factor for parents in particular out there, or caregivers of young children who are swimmers, to be aware of, is that some of the worst sun exposure that we have actually occurs as children and before the age of 15. A lot of the sun damage that happens in our skin and sets us up for failure later on in life, failure as far as not only aging, but skin cancer risk, melanoma risk, happens as a result of intense, intermittent UV exposure in young childhood. So, you know, classic example would be your young child and is getting burns and that kind of thing throughout the summer. That is really, really a dangerous situation. Protect the skin, broad spectrum sunscreens, but if you're swimming outdoors, you know, employ UV protective swimwear and, you know, long sleeves, a hat when you're not actually in the water, and continue to reapply a water-resistant sunscreen. Use a water-resistant broad-spectrum sunscreen, reapply it immediately after exiting the pool. A thick, greasy one will be helpful in combating some of the dryness of the pool water. The fourth skin condition that's very unique to competitive swimmers is related to the use of the goggles, and that is a specific type of allergic contact dermatitis can rarely occur in people who wear swim goggles, and it presents as an itchy, weepy rash right around the eyes where the goggles are hitting, and it is often due to the individual developing a sensitivity and subsequent allergy to neoprene, or more specifically, the ingredients that, how do I put this? They're called rubber accelerators, but they kind of help in the polymerization and hardening process of the actual neoprene themselves. And they they are called thiourea. So one of the more common ones in your swim goggles is something called dibutyl thiourea. You can develop an allergy to this, cause an itchy rash around the eyes. And so if you're developing a rash around your eyes related to your goggles, be aware that it could be that. See a dermatologist. They can help you diagnose. They can help diagnose if that is what's going on. But if that is what's going on, there are a variety of conventional goggle brands out there that have goggles that are made of polyvinyl rather than neoprene. And neoprene is present in a lot of things. So people who develop this allergy can also become allergic to wetsuits, and I've seen cases of people becoming allergic to the little wrist pads underneath your typewriter. What century am I talking to you from? On your keyboard, the little wrist wrap. People who have neoprene allergies can develop rashes subsequently on their wrists. So all related to the rubber accelerator most likely. And sometimes the goggles are actually do not fit properly. They can create too much of a suction around the eyes, and you can get something called a suction purpura. It's actually called purpura goggleorum. I know, who comes up with these names? But it's kind of like, for lack of a better terminology, it's basically like a hickey around your eye related to the suction of the goggles. So ensuring that you or your child's goggles fit properly is very, very important. All right, and then another skin condition in swimmers that is kind of unusual is something called swimmer's shoulders. A dermatologist actually came up with this and self-diagnosed it in himself. He observed it in himself. Basically, it's the development of a red shoulder shortly after doing the crawl stroke. And what it is I guess when you do the crawl stroke, I'm not a swimmer, but your face hits your shoulder, and if you've got a shadow like from your beard, this constant friction creates an irritant dermatitis, and you develop a little red friction rash on the shoulder related to that. And typically it appears shortly after your workout and spontaneously resolves within a few hours. So if you've noticed that you have a red shoulder, it could be related to your beard stubble causing that. Then the other condition is something called swimmer's ear, which is very an unfortunate thing to have to cope with. This is basically kind of still similarly related to some of the same things that cause dry skin on the body. You can also dry out the ear canal and the ear, the skin within the ear, compromise some of the barrier within the ear, and predispose you to developing a little ear infection. Can predispose you to getting a little ear infection with a little bacteria known as Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas loves to live in watery environments. It's water loving, and so swimmers can get what's called swimmer's ears, little ear infection. And sometimes prescription antibiotic drops are also often needed to prevent recurrences. And then the very last skin condition I will talk about is something called, it's not funny, but the names that they come up with give me pause to giggle. It's something called Bikini Bottom. It's a terrible thing to have to cope with, actually. It is basically deep-seated acne on the rear end related to wearing your bikini bottom too long after you've been swimming. So this happens in more often than not. It happens in young women who are by the beach, hanging out on the beach. You go in the ocean, your bathing suit gets wet, and then you hang out in the wet bikini bottom. And this can actually cause a very deep-seated acne just on the rear end. It's very painful, very uncomfortable. Typical acne treatments have to be prescribed to treat it, oral antibiotics, for example. So in order to cut down on the chances of that forming, the tip would be get out of the bathing suit as soon as you get out of the water. And that holds true outside of bikini bottom. Take that bathing suit off, get that. You don't want to have that wet chlorine or salt water sitting there macerating the skin. Very, very bad for the skin barrier. So as soon as you are out of the water, if you're not getting right back in, take that swimsuit off, rinse the skin, and apply a moisturizer to the body, and put on dry, clean clothing. That will help protect your skin from any little skin infections, and keep it healthy and hydrated, and prevent some of these issues from becoming problematic to you all. Oh, I almost forgot one other condition that you guys have asked me a fair amount about, and that is green hair. Green hair is something that happens kind of in outbreaks, and it solely affects people who have naturally blonde hair or light hair that has been lightened, or gray hair, and it can occur kind of in outbreaks in multiple people, and it's actually related to copper in the water, copper coming into the water system from like the pipes. That's why you'll often see kind of bouts of this in a community. Perhaps the pool that they're all swimming in, it has some copper in the pipes that gets into the water, and it can discolor the hair green. This is not permanent, it is temporary, it is reversible. It is typically treated, they sell various shampoos over the counter. So yeah, those are my tips for skincare for the pool. But I love all the bathing suits that I got, and if you guys are in the market for a bathing suit, I recommend ShoeDazzle. I was really impressed with the selection of suits that they had, and those hats offer great protection. The quality of the shoes has been phenomenal. I look forward to getting some other things off of their site later on throughout the year. It's a really great deal, and particularly this time of year where you may have a lot of social events that you're going to. You might want to get some new shoes to go with your dresses. So definitely check out the site. Very affordable, and I highly recommend it. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe.